Hey guys, so I came across, whoops, shit. Okay, never mind. Stop. Sorry for that cursing. So I came across this on r/Reddit today, and I wanted to show it to you because, well, it was pretty bad. Normally when you see this kind of stuff, you have a lot of people who are very, how would I say it? They're very sympathetic, or they say, oh, yeah, this is, they're in the wrong, or they word things very nicely. But this really took my breath away in a bad way. So let me read it to you. It says, I, 31 male, told my wife, 25-year-old female, I wish she were dead. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. We have been in a relationship for 6 years now and got married in the summer of 2019. Our relationship has always been a very good one, but the past year was incredibly tough for us. My wife lost her job, had 2 miscarriages, and 2 of our relatives passed away. A few days ago, we were arguing about something really stupid and insignificant. I'm usually a very patient and calm person, but I entirely lost my temper at this moment. I said the nastiest things to her, accused her of the dumbest things, and worst of all, I told her I wish she was dead. Honestly, I'm really ashamed of that I said that to her. I tried to apologize to her, but she won't talk to me anymore. She's completely distancing herself from me, which I can't understand, to be honest. How can I fix this? Is there any way to appropriately apologize to my wife? TLDR, I told my wife during an argument I wish she was dead. I want to apologize to her. So I was thinking to myself, it's easy to say something along the lines of, oh, yeah, just say you're sorry and move on. But when you look in between this, right, think about it. How many people have you told to their face that you wish they were dead? I can't think of anybody that I have personally said that to in my life. Yeah. And I think that this tells me more about this individual rather than the wife a lot, because the wife, she's been going through issues, right? She's lost her job. She had 2 miscarriages. 2 of the relatives passed away. She is not really feeling that great. And for this guy, he's saying that he's usually a very calm and patient person. I have to call bullshit on this one, because I think that if you're calm and you're patient, you don't lose your temper on something that's small and insignificant. But it's easy to paint it in that way, like, oh, I'm a really great person, but during this time, this is what I did. I had a little lapse in judgment. Usually you find that people's actions are consistent, people's words, or you hope, right, people's words are consistent with their actions. And if it's not, then that tells you that there's some bullshitting going around. And in my opinion, I think there is bullshitting going here. I think that this person just doesn't want to acknowledge, in my opinion, that they are a total piece of shit. Because if you're saying that you're arguing about something really stupid and insignificant, what would cause you to say, admittingly, the nastiest thing to them, right? A person who is calm and collected and patient does not have an arsenal of those sort of insults within them, unless they are truly a person like that, and then they hold that within them, and that is dangerous, because there are some people out there who, it's like they will make this facade that they're such a nice person and so caring and so sweet, and behind closed doors they're a real piece of shit. And then you find out afterwards, like, you don't know them well, but you hear through accounts, right? Through people who like live with them, for instance, like, yeah, you think they're a really great dad. No, they're not. They're not a great dad at all. So, yeah, and I've known people like that in my life. Like met people, it's like from the outside in, I thought they were so great. They seem to be like calming or caring, and then you hear about some family drama, and then you find out they're a real asshole. So, for this person, I would say that it looks like the whole charade was up. It looks like, I really don't believe that this person is truly a very patient and calm person. I believe that they're secretly a piece of shit. And you might think that I'm being brash about that, but again, assess who you've said this to in your own life. And if you have said this to a person, you either have a really good reason of saying this, Or alternatively, you just admittingly lose your temper and you just don't want people to know that you are a total piece of shit. So I know that my language is a little bad out there, but you know what? With 5,000 subscribers, I could care less right now. So I think that this person's wife, needs to run away. I think that she maybe realized that this person does not really care about her. I don't think he really truly does, because he can say we had a really, our relationship has always been very good. But in my opinion, I see this more as a ticking time bomb. I see it as this person does not really love his wife, but he just feels guilty that he got caught in the cracks. And it's embarrassing for them because, they want to be known as a very kind and patient person. And saying this kind of stuff, she told her family about the crap that he said, and he's worried about this kind of stuff. In my opinion, I think he's worried that this kind of stuff will leak. But she should tell her family what he said, because for someone to say the vile things and threaten someone like that, you don't take that lightheartedly, especially when it seems like there's a dissonance over here. So I would not, like I said, I do not trust this person saying that they're very patient and calm, and it's all bullshit to me. It really is bullshit to me. I'm usually a very patient and calm person, but I entirely lost my temper in this moment. And I said the nastiest things to her. Where did that come from? I accused her of the dumbest things. Where did that come from, right? That either is insecurity, or in my opinion, they have rage issues. And worst of all, I told her she was dead. I wish she was dead. Honestly, I'm really ashamed. Again, you're just ashamed because you got caught. This kind of leaked out of your mouth. So the wife, I would think about it. And I don't know how their relationship is, but I would think about, I would suggest to think about leaving. Because it is, like, you got to think of it this way. If this person has a kid with the wife, right? Is he going to say something like that to the kid? Right? How will he react when the kid comes on the way? Right? Maybe she dodged a terrible situation, because she knows how his true character can possibly be. I don't take this kind of thing very lighthearted at all, I take this very, very seriously. So I think this is the kind of person that they could be possibly a terrible parent, or the parent can, or the kids can just feed off of the parent and end up kind of messed up, because you got one. I don't know anything about the wife, but it seems like the husband is just, it's very two-faced. I feel like it's two-faced, or it's it's just very uncontrollable and has rage issues like that. And this is the kind of thing also that when I see entirely lost my temper at the moment over something really stupid and insignificant, I worry that in the future, maybe he could harm her. Maybe he could actually do something to her. And he will be one of those people who say, oh yeah, my bad, I just lost my temper. You know the people who said they snap, and they said like, oh, they weren't like that, but they got into the heat of the moment, and all of a sudden they just decided to take things, they just decided to do the unthinkable. And then it was only after they did it, then they had this huge remorse, and they're like, I can't believe I did that. I'm so sorry. Like it's a little too late. But yeah, just so many warning signs. And this is some scary stuff. I think it's scary because it seems that they were together for 6 years, and then all of a sudden he just like lashes out over something that isn't a big issue. So I think maybe this person has rage issues, or they're just very good at hiding things, right? Some people are very good at portraying one image about themselves. They have this carefully, kind of like, you ever watch Hannibal on Hannibal TV, the TV show with Mads Mikkelsen, him? Yeah, there's a part where Dr. What's her name? Boudoir? Gillian Anderson, her. Amelia Boudoir, something like that. I forgot how you say it. But she told Hannibal, like, I see that you're wearing a exquisitely tailored person suit. And I kind of feel the same thing about this person, except that there was a frickin' rip somewhere. And, yeah, just pretty horrific stuff. So let's read what the comments say. The comments say, from your wife's perspective, the last year has been one of horrific loss. Her job, therefore, her means of supporting herself. Should anything happen to you, to you, 2 pregnancies and loved ones. Now she seemingly lost her husband, who was replaced by a monster who said he wished she was dead. You launched a nuke at your wife during a petty argument that speaks some kind of anger issue. Seek counseling at the very instant to figure out why that language is even in your vocabulary, much less something you said to your wife. Buy anger management books and actually read them. Research couple counselors. They'll hold off suggesting to your wife that you both go, or if she seems open to an apology. And when you do it, suggest it. Frame it as a safe space where she can be heard. Write a letter that your wife can read whenever she's ready to, outlining your plan to ensure you never hurt her like this again, and offering to do literally whatever she deems necessary to build back trust with you, or whatever timeline she is comfortable with. If she was the one posting, the overwhelming advice would be to leave you. Yeah, I feel, and I'm open to you guys correcting me here, or giving me your opinions, but I kind of feel like the way things are, I would actually suggest against counseling, because I feel like if this guy goes to counseling, he's just going to figure a way to just be like, okay, I'm not mad. You know, he'll just bite his tongue the next time he's angry. And that would be, from the outside in, considered to be the good thing, right? Just hold it in, don't say anything. But then at one point, if he loses control, he's going to explode. And who knows, maybe he's going to grab a kitchen knife and take matters in his own hands. So I think that it's I don't think you can really temper this kind of stuff. I think that if you go to counseling, you'll probably go down to, okay, well, what made you mad? Why did you feel the need to tell her? Why did you say certain things to her that way? And why did you say that you wish she was dead? I feel like when he was pissed off at her, it was an outburst. He said things that he had hidden inside of him, and he does not want her to know that. Like, it is very, how would I say it? If you say those kind of words, again, it's not something that anybody would say to anyone unless they truly hated that person. And I think that that's what happened in this situation. I mean, I thought about this like several times. I cannot think of why anybody would say, I wish you were dead, especially to their partner, right? Like, what? You got into a fight about, let's say, getting into a fight about grocery bill or something, and then you say all sorts of vile things. Like, that's what they said, right? Petty argument. And then you just start saying things like, I wish you were dead. Like, yeah, I mean, like, I would be worried too, because maybe the wife thinks like, oh shit, he said that she wishes I was dead, and we have an insurance policy. What if he has someone off me and he collects insurance money, right? I mean, like, that's like, I would be very paranoid if I was that woman. So yeah, sometimes people do things because of insurance money. Most people don't. You guys know that. Most people won't do that because insurance investigators are very freaking thorough. Like, oh yeah, so they got attacked by a random person. There was a home invasion. Oh, okay. And the other spouse wasn't home at all? Oh, was there any financial issues? Was there any marital problems? That kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just like, again, I might be very paranoid, but I think that this person, as harsh as it is, I don't think this person should have kids. I don't think this person should be in a relationship with, I feel that way, because, like, to say that you wish your wife was dead or your significant other was dead, on top of saying the nastiest things and accusing them of the dumbest things, right? It almost sounds like they got pissed off and then all of a sudden they just had this barrage of hate launched at her, and you don't treat the people that you love that way. So I actually question if he actually loves her. Like, I don't think he really loves her. I really don't, because you don't say that kind of stuff to people that you love, you know? So anyway, I'm gonna read chat, and I want to hear what you guys say. In case you hear anything in the background, that is my beautiful, beautiful Black & Decker. What's that one number? You know what it is. I can't find it. I can't find the model number. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, I'm reading chat. So, oh, hi, Emily. How are you, Emily? How's your studying going? Yeah, finally I look at chat because I'm trying to be a little bit more concise in what I say, a little bit. So, yeah, now I'm reading chat. I hope you're doing well, Emily. I hope your studies are doing well. So, Emily said he destroyed his marriage, spoken with anger, are words from the heart. And then Sam says, yeah, when people say they didn't mean it, they probably did. You guys know, if anything happened to this woman, like if she died in like some kind of suspicious armed robbery, or, she got shot with a stray bullet, the cops are gonna frickin' interrogate the husband, right? Like it's a frickin' hit, right? Also she told her family and her friends, like, oh, he said that he wished he was dead, and he accused me of all this sort of shit, and he said the most vile things, and all we had was a stupid argument. And I know the family's probably like, get the hell away from him. Like, what the hell? Yeah, so Anya said, I didn't mean it actually means I regret that I said I don't want to admit it. Yeah, exactly. What? Anonymous individual said, my ex literally wished for my demise at times. As she was clinically psychotic, I forgave her. I don't understand it. And maybe you can give us a little bit more insight, anonymous individual, aka Nick, because if you're dating someone and they wish for your demise, why would you want to be around a person like that? Can you guys explain that to me? Like, why would you, like, if you're with someone, it's because you see a future with them, right? Or you want to have a future with them. And I just don't see a partnership here if one person is saying, like, I wish you for your downfall. Like, that's not a partnership. That's freaking trying to off your competition or something. That's like some freaking Cersei Lannister, Robert Baratheon kind of thing. Where she's, where she's probably, like, she's with him, but then she, like, hates him. But he also, well, you don't hate her, but you know what I mean. Like, she's wishing and praying that something happened to you. Well, good thing she's an ex, though, but yeah, I don't understand people who wish for the demise of others. I find that people who wish for that kind of stuff, it's like they probably don't have a very good life, and they're just focused on that. I mean, not even like, you remember the Eugene situation? I didn't wish Eugene well. I still don't wish Eugene well. I think he's a total piece of shit, but in my opinion. But it's not like I wish that he's dead or anything. Actually, quite the opposite. I actually wish that whatever happens to him kind of gets drawn out, because, yeah, usually I wish for people, if they're dying, that they have a very quick death. But Eugene, just drag it out for an extra minute or two. I shouldn't say that. Let's see over here. Let's see. Yeah, I hope so, Hannah. Like, I hope he doesn't, because, I mean, this is, like, I've heard about some cases, like, on Reddit, where people say, like, this is my relationship, this is the problems that I have, and, oh my gosh, I gotta find that Reddit thread and share it with you guys, because it was messed up. I really gotta find it. Hello, handsome. Hold on. I got a handsome man here. Handsome. Come here. Come here. Oh, you ready for your dental gel, handsome? Oh, too handsome. Okay, so, what? JT was banned on Reddit? How do you get banned on Reddit? Yeah, exactly, Suki. I don't think that's some real built-up resentment. He wanted to hurt her to the point that she would abandon the argument. Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know, saying I wish you were dead is not just hurting her. That's like saying like I wish you were wiped off from the face of the earth. It says that I wish you are not in my life. It's not just hurting it. It's like I feel like if you were gone, my life would be better. So that's some real up shit. So Hannah says he probably never learned how to express his emotions in healthy ways. This past year, he said, was tough on the relationship. Yeah, but you know what? Even if it's tough on them, like they're in it together. And she lost her job. Yeah, like yeah, it sucks that she lost her job, but they have, it's like it's her job that was lost. And then the kid, the miscarriage thing, she feels like crap having the miscarriages. So I don't, if he feels bad or if he's pissed off because she lost the kid, it's not like she intentionally wanted to lose the kid. So that's pretty messed up. If he's I don't know what he's saying, but maybe he could insinuate that she had a messed up like she can't have a kid or something. Who knows? Maybe I don't know what kind of sense he's saying, but I'm sure it took her by surprise. Like, what is the most vile thing you could say? I imagine it's something like, I'm happy that you didn't have my kid, or, or I think you're an unfit mother or something like that, or I think you're too dumb to have my kid. I never want to have kids with you because I don't want the kid to be as stupid as you. Like those are some of the things that he could have said, but of course he won't say that kind of thing on Reddit. But I mean, like, I wish I knew what the vile freaking stuff was, but yeah, not gonna say it on Reddit. What else? Hold up, hold up, hold up. Okay, what am I reading over here? Who's Ralph Cramden? I don't know who that is. Oh, this was after we already committed engaged. Oh, goodness. Hey, Oreo, what are you knocking things over for? Oreo. What? Nah, but you know what? I mean, like, you can't express your feelings. You still wouldn't wish someone dead, right? Like, have you, like, there's been times where people have been frustrated and, or you get pissed off at your boss or pissed off at your teacher or whatever. Like, you would never ever say, like, man, I wish so and so was dead. Like, that's some freaking vile ass shit there. Oh, like Lisa and the Honeymooners. Yeah, you know what the thing is though? I mean, I think it's important to I think it's important for relationships. Like if you feel like the other person is not wishing you well and they don't want to be like a partner to you, but they just see you, as I don't know, if they wish for your demise, like that's not a good life partner. Because think about it, right? Like, I don't know how old you are, anonymous individual, but you don't want to spend possibly the next 30, 40 years with a person like that. And I know it's your ex, but I hope that, you find someone who treats you well, who treats you so much better and who treats you how you treat them. Because if you are, being kind and patient to a person and loving and understanding, it's really unfair to you if you end up with if you are with the person who wishes for your demise. You don't, like, nobody deserves that. And I think sometimes, like, and this is just from what I notice some of the people that I know that if they are with people who are freaking crazy or they're hot and crazy. When I mean hot and crazy, it's like, they say like the psychotic, the crazy people tend to be sometimes like the hottest people tend to be the craziest people. Like those people, yeah, I feel like sometimes like the person who's so kind and loving to them actually end up getting really damaged as a result of that, because they want to help them and they have such a kind heart, but all the other person might think to do is destroy or just be very insensitive and just be so selfish. And it's, it sucks, but there are people like that. But those kind of people, like, I've kind of, like, I thought about it for a while. I was like, do those kind of people, should they seek therapy or something to be better people? And I've come to the realization personally that those people will never change their ways, because they have no reason to change. If you are like a total asshole, and you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you see them bending backwards for you, why would you change? You have control over them. You have power over them. And sometimes people say the really hurtful things because they just want to feel like they're more powerful in the relationship. Yeah, like it's just it's a way to hurt and control a person. So um, it's really juvenile, and it's really selfish. But sometimes people do that because they feel the only way that they can feel anything is just to light something on fire. And yeah, it's a real fucked up personality thing. But yeah, I know that there are people like that out there, and I have spoken to people who have those kind of people in their life, and it is extremely destructive. And those people who were standing too close to the fire, they not only got burned, but they lost a lot of themselves as a result of that. They became basically like a whipped animal, a whipped kitty cat, because they don't, they have so much invested into that person, and they think like, oh yeah, this is the best that I can get. I can't get any better than this. So yeah, I'm just going to be nice to them because I've spent, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years with them. And then yeah, the person just, they don't love that person. They just up and leave, and they're like, screw you, you're disposable to me, you're junk. And it crushes their heart. Like, I see people go through heavy, heavy, heavy depression because of it. So, Oreo. Don't worry. There's so many people. There's so many people who are older than me. Believe it or not. I know Lewis always talks about me being old, but I'm not that freaking that old. I know I'm older than 25, but I ain't that old. No, if Savage Guy, if you like arguing with dumb things, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, seriously, some people argue with dumb things. I used to argue with my friends with dumb things all the time. I used to call some of my friends a dum dum, and they'd be like, "Don't call me a dum dum, Erica." And I'd be like, "I'll call you whatever I want to call you, dum dum." And then we just laugh about it. But yeah, it's fine if you argue about dumb things. It's just that you need to make sure that you don't do personal attacks. Like, if you do argue about things, it doesn't turn into like a real like vitriol kind of thing. Like, I've had disagreements with people about all sorts of things, and that's okay. We agree to disagree. Oh my goodness. Yeah, anonymous individual. You know what? I mean, like, I know that you put so much time and effort into your ex, and I think, and I might be seeing this wrong, but from my understanding of those kind of people, you love them so much and you put so much time into that, and then they don't really appreciate it. They just probably dispose of you. And then if you're gone, they just move on and they find their next person. If they do move on, and sometimes people move on very quickly, and it's heartbreaking. That from what I see from the outside in. But yeah, a person like you who's so patient and kind, you really should try to find someone who's like you, because it really is unfair to just be like kind of like to have to be like a punching bag. If someone has issues, like, If someone has issues, like that, you need to feel that if they're working through issues, then you guys are still on the same team. You know, they don't, like, they're not working against you, kind of thing. Like, they understand that you both are in it together. So there's a, you know, so I'm not against dating someone who has like bipolar disorder or anything like that, but there has to be a clear understanding that you are not the enemy. You know. Like, same with someone who's dealing with depression or anxiety, for instance, right? Some people get so lost in their head. I am one of those people. Like, when I get heavily depressed, I just kind of, like, I lose track of time and I get stuck in my brain. But, yeah, it's like, Oreo, where are you going? Hold on. Oreo, don't get trapped in there. Oreo, can you turn, Oreo? Oreo, you gotta turn. He went behind my plushies, and I'm afraid he got trapped behind there because it's a one way. Oh no, he managed to get out. Thank God. So, CL, can you explain why you're a reformed asshole? Like, what caused you to change? Because, in my opinion, people don't change unless they want to change. You can preach to the high heavens and say, you're an asshole. But as some people, it's like if they find that they get what they want by being an asshole, they have no incentive to change. Kind of like the person who becomes the Karen, right? Those people are like, they walk in and they're like, I want to talk to the manager. Like, they make a huge huff and a puff, and sometimes they do that because they see that they get the results they want. Oh, they're like, I want a discount, and then people give them the discount, so they have every reason to continue being like that. So yeah, I'm curious what made you become a reformed asshole. Because were you a reformed asshole because you had some sort of insecurity, or did you get, I don't know, did someone knock some sense into you? What is a healthy relationship? Let me think. Healthy relationship is basically like, close your eyes, imagine how you would want to be treated. So, okay, this is gonna sound so freaking crazy, but if you guys ever watch, if you ever read True Beauty, the webtoon. Here, look at this. Oh, let me find it. Damn it. Okay, here we go. Like, I think, like, I know you guys are like, God damn it, is this a webtoon again? So yeah, see, there's the main character, and I think she's kind of like, she's not the most exciting character. I mean, after a while, after you get to like episode 40 something, you're just like, oh frick. But like, there's two guys who are interested in her. One of them, she actually ends up dating him. His name is oh goodness, Seojun, and the other guy's name is Suho. So Suho, in my opinion, is great because he's he's very selfless, and he always tries to improve himself, but he's very kind and he's very patient, and he's kind of like he's kind of like how would I describe it? He kind of like is like the person, like if you read in a manga or a storybook, like how Prince Charming should be, like that's how Suho is, I guess. But and yeah, he's so so going back to what I was saying, like, just close your eyes and imagine, like, okay, if I could pick like how I want to be treated, like you just imagine that in a partner. Like, you want a person who respects you, you want a person who uplifts you, who supports you when you're going through tough times, who doesn't lose their temper at you and call you nasty, vile things, who doesn't just like lose their temper at you and call you like stupid or anything like that, who doesn't insult you just because they feel better about themselves, things like that. Like, I think that's a healthy relationship. It's kind of like you feel like you're not, like, what you put out there, you're getting that back into return. And I think that's very Yeah, so when you hear like those sappy pop songs, like Shawn Mendes, like Treat You Better, that kind of stuff, like I know as sappy as it sounds, like that kind of thing. I think like yeah, there's like a reason why those songs exist. So some people might say like, oh, they're in a really shitty relationship, and yeah, they might be with a person who is saying dumb shitty things to them or wishing that they're dead, and that is obviously not a healthy relationship at all. So it has a lot of respect, support, understanding, and there's no put downs, because people go through tough things in life, right? The last thing you want to do is hear the last thing you want to do is hear dumb shit coming out from your partner. So for instance, right, imagine you have a tough day at work, right? And you got chewed out by your boss. And you tell your significant other, yeah, I screwed up, I don't know, something like I came to work 10 minutes late, so my boss chewed me out. If you have a supportive spouse, the spouse will be like, okay, how come you came 10 minutes late? Oh, you were stuck in traffic? Oh, okay, and if it's just a one time thing, they would be like, yeah, just come earlier next time, man. Your boss is so like, nitpicky and everything like that. Or, man, I can't believe your boss chewed you out for coming out 10 minutes late. Like, you apologize. Like, that isn't something to like raise your blood pressure over kind of thing. But if you have a partner who's like, what? You came 10 minutes late? Are you stupid? Like, what the is wrong with you? How the hell did you come to work late? Like, you see the difference in the tone there? Like, you have one who's just kind of like understanding. It's like, oh yeah, well, you came late. Yeah, go, leave early next time. And then you got the other person who's just making all kinds of personal insults. Like, you don't want the latter. You don't want the latter, because if you're already feeling shitty about a situation, you don't need your partner adding to that. Because when people feel bad, right? They already feel like shitty. So, but some people, they can use that situation as firepower. They can say like, oh, look at, if a person is a real piece of shit, they can say like, man, look, that person is having a bad day. Yeah, let me kick them when they're down. Oh yeah, your boss chewed you out? Well, my boss didn't chew me out. You're so stupid. Like kind of stuff. Like, yeah, you don't need people like that in your life. And definitely you shouldn't have a person like that as a partner, because if someone is willing to kick you when you're down and not uplift you instead, then you're just becoming a punching bag for them in the mental sense, and you really are doing a disservice to yourself. So, yeah, I mean like, hold on. Yeah, so Max, yeah, that's the thing. Like, when I was younger, I always thought like if you want to be hold on. If you want to if you want to be if you want to make it in life, you got to have like so many friends and things like that, right? I've learned in my life like you really don't need that many people. You just need to have a few people who you feel really has your back, who stick with you through thick and thin, when you have a great job, when you don't have a great job, and that's all that really matters. A lot of people come and go, right? So, but the true friends, it's like even if you haven't spoken to them for a few years, you reconnect, and it's like you guys never lost touch. It's like you catch up, and you're like, you know what? I know that person still really cares for me, and I know if I call that person, even if they don't answer immediately, they will give me a call back. If I leave them a voicemail and say, hey, this is so and so. I was just wondering if we could talk on the phone. I'm going through something or something like that, right? Or it's been a while since we've spoken. We should meet up or something like that. Those kind of people are like your ride and dies. So, yeah, like never take those kind of people for granted, because a lot of people can come and go, or they just wander off, or they change. You guys have heard me share several stories where I've had people that I trusted like brothers, like blood brothers, and they met a woman, and the woman destroyed them, and they became a shadow of who they used to be. Before, they were people who were respected by other people who I looked up to, and then they met the wrong destructive woman, and they're basically whipped. And they hate me, and they hate the other people that supported them, all before this woman came in. And the women, by the way, seek to destroy them. See? So the women are so calculating and so manipulative that they try to take the guy away from his family, away from his friends, and then he shuns them away, and then he says like, I don't have anybody on my team except my wife or my girlfriend, and that's all they have. That's all they feel they have. And it is so sad because it's like they lost sight of all the people who were supporting them for years before this woman came around. Yeah, so I don't think it's bad to argue about things. I think it's very important to talk things out. I think it's very important to hear both sides. But yeah, never personally insult. Like, if you're getting into an argument about, I don't know, like if you're for or against like Andrew Cuomo, for instance, right? Like, what if someone's if you say something and you're like, oh, I think Andrew Cuomo's a good governor, and then the other if like you say that, right, or someone says that, right, you shouldn't insult them and be like, man, you're so freaking stupid. Like, what the hell, man? I thought you were smarter than that. You're just a stupid, like that kind of stuff. Like, once you say those kind of things, like personal attacks, like that's not good. Yeah. So imagine, okay, I'm not this individual and like other people too, right? All the effort that you put into that person. Imagine if you knew someone imagine if you had a partner who was willing to do the same thing for you. Like, if you had a bad day, that person came up and they said, hey, let me try to make your day better. What can I do to make you feel better? Or they surprise you with like a little gift or something like that thoughtfulness, like that kind of stuff. Like, I think some people are very, very giving in their relationships, and it sucks when it sucks that if they're just with the person who kicks them when they're down. You see? Because those kind of people who are such givers in a relationship and so supportive and caring, those people should really be with other people. Because I imagine if those people found their counterpart, like their matching counterpart, those people would make really wonderful parents, right? If you have two parents who are very kind, thoughtful, giving to one another, they have a child together, that child would be have so much good influence all around, right? They wouldn't hear them fighting over stupid shit. They wouldn't hear like the personal attacks. There would be a lot of respect, a lot of love, a lot of understanding, and it would just be a really good household. So that's why I think it's very, very important for people when they do if they think about settling down with someone, and I'm not just talking about relationship, I'm talking about having kids, you gotta be super freaking selective, because understand that whatever habits are inside of that person that you're dating, if it's a negative habit, like if someone's saying this vile stuff to you, if they're saying like, I wish you were dead, they might say that in front of your kid. And you, as a parent, if you have a kid, you got to protect that kid at all costs. 100%, right? Can you imagine if you were this if can you imagine if like you had to put yourself in the wife's shoes, right? You're married to a person, and then your partner tells you all this vile stuff over a stupid argument, saying, I wish you were dead, and then a kid overhears it. Like, that is mortifying. That would be like, whoa. Whoa, that's freaking terrible. And I hear about people who are, it's like they are in a dysfunctional relationship. They have a kid, and the kid is just, the kid doesn't come out. Like, the kid does not develop in a healthy manner. And when I talk about a healthy manner, I say that they don't have a healthy view about relationships based on what they see with their parents. So if you can, right, you gotta make sure that you screen your potential life partner really freaking well. Because if you don't screen them well, this kind of stuff can happen, and then you don't want to be on the end of a really nasty custody battle, or where, yeah, you don't want to be on the end of a nasty custody battle if you can avoid it. Like, sometimes I know relationships don't work out, people get divorced, right? But once there's kids involved, oh, it can be on a whole nother level. I felt so home away from home. Oh. But you know what the thing is, Anonymous? Like, you have to, I don't want to sound preachy here. And I want you to understand though, you saved yourself a lifetime of a lot of, other issues. And money can always be made back 100%, right? But the knowledge that you have will make you a more aware and informed individual, because the next time you find a person, you're going to see warning signs, and you have to really ask yourself, the next person that you meet, is this a person that I can see as being the possible mother of my child? Or if you don't want to have a kid with that person, right? Do I see this person as being a wonderful mother? Right? I understand some people don't want to have kids, and I respect that, right? But the whole thinking behind that is that if you have a person who you feel who can be a wonderful mother in your life, and you're dating them or you're engaged to them, that kind of person will have habits that you feel comfortable around. It won't be like chaos or destruction or fights that you might feel like you're walking on eggshells with. And I really hope that the next person that you pick, and I know there's a lot of women out there, but there's a lot of women that you need to stay away from too, right? I hope that with the knowledge about your ex, right, you use that as awareness, and then you find a really, really wonderful person who treats you right, who when you interact with them, you're like, damn, they treat me how I would have treated my ex. And yeah, you feel like you're not just doing all the work. You feel like you found your partner, your other half. That's the whole thing about partnership that I think is really important to keep in mind. It's not just about how you treat them, but you have to be aware of how they treat you as well. Because if you're in a relationship where you're the one who's always folding and bending and making concessions, then you already know how it's going to end up in the future, right? It's always going to be you're going to have to be the one that folds, and I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's healthy at all. So I hope, and I remember like earlier today I was on Facebook, and one of my friends that I met in college, okay, he was by all definitions what people would call an incel. But he was, and I say that in the fact that he wasn't quote cool. He was a very respectful guy. He tried to dress well, but he always came off as kind of dorky. So like he took care of himself. He had he was just very PG, shall I say. And I remember he used to get steamrolled big time by his ex. Like he had a manipulative I don't remember. I think that was his fiance. Yeah, he had a manipulative fiance, and she treated him like dirt. And I remember he said he was brokenhearted when she left him for another guy. So here's the thing, okay? So they were dating for a couple years, and he left Hawaii to be with this woman, right? To move with her, and that was his first girlfriend. She treated him like crap. He still stuck around. He was whipped, he was like, I love you so much, I care for her so much. And I used to hear about this all the time. And turns out that she told him, she was like, you're a nice guy, but I'm not into you. And she ended up dating her coworker. And I remember his name because he was cursing this guy. So she dated her coworker, and they were living together. And she moved out to be with the guy, to be with the coworker. And there were times, because they lived far away, they lived like a couple hours away, she was too tired to go from her work. I know this sounds really messed up, right? She was too tired to go from work to her new boyfriend's house, so she would go to my friend's place, right? And she would just sleep there on the couch. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell? She cheated on you. You guys broke up, and you're still allowing her to sleep on the couch because you still love her. And he would tell me, he would tell stuff like, oh yeah, it's because it's like I don't have the heart to tell her no, and she needs a place to sleep. And I'm thinking, why the hell is her boyfriend not picking her up or something, right? But between the lines, you can tell that the boyfriend didn't feel threatened, because he's probably thinking, well, I got his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, and that guy's, he's probably thinking like my friend was the beta male. So like he doesn't care if they sleep in the same, if she sleeps over, because he doesn't give a shit about her, or either that, or yeah, whatever. So anyway, she ends up getting knocked up. So she ends up getting pregnant, and she has the new boyfriend's kid, and doesn't look like they're together. But anyway, so my friend, he was sad that he lost his fiance, but he kept at it. He never lost hope, and he dreamed one day he would find a woman who would treat him right. Cause this guy wore his heart on his sleeve. Okay, this guy was like, like one of those anime characters, like he was the kind of person that he didn't have a lot of money, but he would go to the ends of the earth, kind of thing, just to be with the person that he loves. I was like, it was very endearing. Okay, so it's like I was like, man, I hope things work out. I hope things work out. Turns out one day he takes the subway. He sees this pretty girl. He talks to her, and then they just hit it off, and they got married, and now they're now they're happily married. I think they've been married for over a year. And whenever I see their pictures, I look at it and I'm like, holy shit, they really are a team together. Like, you see two people who are just radiantly beaming. He's so happy she's with him, and she's so happy that he's with her. And it's just a really beautiful, perfect love story. I don't want to say perfect, but he's just so radiant. And I'm so happy for him. So, and remember, like, his ex-girlfriend, his ex-fiance treated him like dirt, right? And she left him, and even though that happened, he learned from it, and he never lost the faith that he would find someone. And the next one is just an amazing woman. And I know that from what I've been told, it's like she has a really great heart, and he loves her so much, and he's not gonna he's a very caring guy. I mean, just really an amazing guy. So they both lucked out, and good for them. So if anybody is in a relationship and it doesn't work out, don't think that it's over, because it's really not. You never know if you could end up on the subway and then some person speaks to you, and you just hit it off. Yeah, so it's like, um, you know what? I mean, like, I shouldn't say judge people before you speak to them, because you could meet a person who looks like a total bitch, but they could be a total sweetheart, right? Give people a chance. Like, don't view people on their outer looks, because you never know, man. Like, maybe you'll have a person who, a diamond in the rough kind of thing. Or maybe some people don't know how to dress. I always think like you should judge people based on their personality, and then the connection first. It's like that's incredibly, incredibly important. But yeah, looks fade. Right? A lot of people, they don't look as good as they did, when they're 80, as they did when they're in like their 20s or 30s. I knew someone who months after divorcing was looking at old family and realized his ex-wife for nearly a year prior. Yo, wow! Holy crap, still. You know what though? A lot of people, they stop wearing their wedding rings, because they just, they don't like the feeling of rings, or they're like, damn it, I gotta take the ring off, put the ring on. Especially some women's wedding rings, right? Some rings cost like $4,000, $10,000, $30,000. Frick, that's a lot of money. Um, it's not a problem to be a doormat, but a quote doormat would be best finding another doormat, because I feel like a person who is just so kind and giving has it's very it's a very real possibility for their kindness and their love to be abused, and that's exactly what happened to my friend. Very sweet guy, very nice guy. It's just like very PG kind of guy. Hardworking, doesn't curse, wears his heart on his sleeve, always is very optimistic, has a can-do attitude. I mean, seriously, the only thing that was annoying about this guy was he was a little too squeaky clean. But um, yeah, I mean, like you could tell, just he was just. It's kind of one of those people. It's like he must be protected kind of people, and it worked out for him. So I imagine that if he had turned cynical, if he had said, "Yeah, screw women," or screw relationships, I never want to find a relationship, he would have found his wonderful wife. And he is so happy with her, and she's so happy with him. And I don't know if they have kids on their mind, but if they have kids, 100%, I know that kid's going to be a really wonderful, wonderful parent. He will make an amazing dad. I don't know her, but I'm sure she'll make a really amazing mom as well. Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? Sometimes you can find like harsh flags, right? Like if you know someone who treats the wait staff like total shit, like you shouldn't be around those kind of people. So I always pay attention to people, and I'm not just talking about like relationship wise. I'm talking about people that I associate myself. I see how they treat other people, like people who work in fast food, people who are janitors, because I don't want people in my life who look down upon others just because of their profession. Like when it comes down to it, we're all born, we don't have control in how we look like or when we're born or our circumstances when we're born. But what matters is what we do with our life and how we treat others. So the stuff that we can control, and one of the factors we can control is how we treat others. It's something that I pay a lot of attention to. Like I don't tolerate it, and I really cannot stand it when other people are like, oh yeah, well that person makes so little money, and yeah, that person is just useless or something like that. What's my opinion of guys dating older women? I'm talking like 10 plus years older. I don't know, because I've never been a guy who dated an older woman, but I've dated a younger guy. So Um, the best, like, I dated a guy who was like 6 years younger than me, and I have to say, like, dating a person who is 6 years younger than me it's refreshing in the sense that they don't seem, how would I say this? Like they seem more malleable. It seems that they're more innocent. They can be more innocent, or they could be more of an asshole. But then there's also this feeling that they don't have too much, like, as much experience about certain things. So um, yeah, I think it's pretty refreshing. I think it's refreshing when a guy dates an older woman, because that tells me like the guy probably wants something more from an older woman than just her looks. Because if he wanted to be with a chick that looked like she was, if he wanted a chick his own age, right? Assuming that he's like 20 and a chick is 20, like, yeah, he would just stay in his lane. But if he's going for a chick who's in his 30s, that tells me like there's something that he finds attractive about older women that a woman who's younger can't give him. And maybe it's mindset, maybe it's intellect, maybe it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's financials, right? But whatever it is, yeah, keep an open mind. I think it's important to just keep an open mind. If you are single and you're dating a person, like, date younger and date older, because yeah, both sides. It's like you see how it is to date someone younger, and you see how it is to date someone older, and it's good to be well rounded. I don't like the idea of like, okay, well, if I'm 25, then I gotta date a person who's 25 or 26, and I'm not gonna date a guy who's 24 if I'm 25 because he's 1 year younger. But there is a generational gap sometimes. Like, I know some people, they date people who are like 20 years older. I'm like, well, if they get along, that's great. But a guy or a person who's 20 years older tends to have a lot more maturity and a lot more life experience than the younger person. So, and then there's also different things, right? So, for instance, right? Um, like, as a person, like for me, as a person who grew up around like the 90s, right? I know what Pokemon is, and I know like, well, what's it called? Beanie Babies, right? But if I was dating a person who was 20 years younger than me, well, that would actually be 12 years old. But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like a person who is 12 years old does not know what a frickin' Beanie Baby is, most likely. They might not remember certain things. They definitely don't know what happened in the 90s because they weren't alive during that time. So, yeah, there's a generational gap, but I understand why some people date older, they date younger. Oh no, my ex-wife didn't wear her wedding ring because it interfered with her dating. Oh. Well, at least you know what? If she didn't want to be honest and respectful towards you, then it's good that she's your ex. Because you should be with a person who cherishes your relationship and respects you and wants to be with you, right? My shower arm brought me over here. What you mean? I'm gonna put one here at home tomorrow. Nice. Oh, my shower. Are you talking about my leaky shower head thing? 48, my girlfriend of 4 years. Yeah, you know what? If you can make that generational gap thing work, then I think it's refreshing. I think it can be refreshing for a 27-year-old to date someone who is significantly more mature because they think like, oh man, this person has had so much life experience. He has so much, he or her, whoever's older, right? Has maybe like been more traveled or they've interacted with more people, and that it's kind of like having I don't want to say mentor, but I'm going to use the word mentor, kind of like that. Not like a daddy figure here. I'm not going to say that, but it's like having a mentor, like a sexy mentor, I guess. Yeah, so if you can make that gap work, then more power to you. I think if any person really gets along, if they're older or younger, it doesn't matter. What matters is that connection. My ex, by the way, is currently with a guy in his 20s. I only mention that for the sake of humor. 20s. Oh. Yeah, well, I hope the thing about people who are younger that I find they don't know how to react in certain situations because they don't have the experience to. So sometimes you might find that certain people like they might have an outburst and then they don't know how to they don't know how to speak to people or they don't know how to phrase certain things because they just don't have the life experience experience to do it. So yeah, so geez, 20, someone in their 20s. I hope, I hope he can handle her, but I have my doubts here because yeah, unless she changes her ways, then, you would have to want to consciously change your ways or seek to change your ways or go on medication or therapy to change your ways. A person's not going to change. And yeah, so yeah, yeah, but older, younger, age doesn't really matter. Just focus on who you get along with, and at the end of it, I feel like people should really focus on dating or being with really good people. And I really think like in our society, we have so much focus on, oh, how does his six pack look, or how does her body look like, or how toned are her arms and things like that. And while aesthetics is important, having, that's just one facet of a person, right? What matters is really their character and their brain and how they treat a person. You can get any person in the world a personal trainer, but you cannot find a replacement for certain people's personalities and certain people's intellect. And I stand by that statement. And I say this as a person who has known a person who was in a long time marriage, stuck by their husband, was from what I was told, a very loyal wife, and then the husband dumped her because he wanted to date a woman who was just a few years older than his daughter. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, how the hell do you throw away a 20-year marriage just to go with the hot piece of ass? But it happens. It happens. And it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to see this kind of stuff happen. But that person, instead of being in a happy relationship, instead of having a supportive a wife, he is now. I don't know if he's still with that 20-something-year-old chick. I mean, she is I think, yeah, I think she's only a few years older than me. But yeah, instead of being with a supportive wife who's been through with him through thick and thin, he rather just go for someone who is shiny and brand new, and it's very short sighted. So I'm super disappointed with that. Super disappointed. But I know some people, some people who are, I'm going to say it, even though YouTube is probably going to limit me on this. There's a movement called MGTOW. You guys can look that up. Men going own way. um, and I know that some of those people, because I actually listened to that for a number of years because I was curious. Like, I know some people will be like, oh, Erica, you listen to this? And I do, actually, because I want to hear what men think. And I want to hear their mindset about it. And my thinking is this. I don't think all women are the same. I don't think all women are out to grab a guy's paycheck and then suck him dry and then have kids and then just screw over the husband with a pool boy or something like that. Because remember, there are women who have been in very long marriages, but we don't hear about them. We don't hear about them because now we're in a society where it seems like divorces can happen in as little as like 2 weeks. I remember hearing about this one celebrity. I forgot who it was. Oh, was it Eddie Murphy? I think it was Eddie Murphy. He got married and then he only got married for 2 weeks. Yeah, and then I think Pamela Anderson was the same way. Pamela Anderson only got married for like a short period of time, and allegedly she did it to get the sugar daddy or something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, like if you hear about these kind of women doing these kind of things, then yeah, you might be inclined to think all women are the same, but truly they're not. You just got to make sure that you find a good woman. And it's not that hard to find. It's just that a lot of the good women, they're probably laying down low. They're not going to be the Instagram models. They're not going to be like the 10 out of 10 chick. They're probably going to be more homely. And I say this as a person who has known women that guys will just overlook because she looks like she isn't really a looker. So she might have a really good heart, but because she doesn't have, she doesn't wear a bikini and she doesn't, have perfect hair or makeup, then they just dismiss her. And it's very short-sighted. So I have always advocated that if you are dating someone, try look beyond just what they're wearing. If they have shitty fashion sense or something, you can help them get better fashion sense. You can help them get better fitting clothes. Maybe they don't know any better. Maybe they don't know how to do their eyebrows or something like that. You can work on those kind of things. But what you cannot work on so easily is changing character. Like, do not expect you can change character flaws. So if you know a person who is really gorgeous but treats people like shit, like, yeah, just don't waste your time on that kind of person. Like, I know some people would say, oh, I'm just gonna bang them, and yeah, I want to bang them because they're hot. But sometimes if you stick your thingy majingy in crazy, then you might be tied to crazy. So I would not even recommend that kind of stuff. I know some guys who have slept around left and right, and they tell me about their escapades, and they kind of end up mentally messing up in the head, because sometimes they sleep around and then they actually fall for a chick. And then when they fall for a chick, then the chick doesn't want them. She's like, I don't want to be with you. Yeah, and then but we slept together. I mean, they don't say that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, they try to make things seriously, but yeah, it goes. The chick might have just seen the guy as a one night stand, and it sucks. You know what? I mean, as I heard, people can have kids as late as they're 50 or something like that. But there is always a little concern that there might be a risk of like genetic things like Down syndrome or something like that around the time of 35. So the risk does go up. However, you can do screening for that stuff, right? So Yeah, I mean, don't focus too much on age. I would say focus on connection because you never know. You never know that, hey, maybe there's someone who's 2 years older than you and they're just a really great person, but you dismiss them because they're 2 years older than you. So give everybody a shot. Don't focus on the age too much. Seriously. I've heard about that. I've heard about, yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I think it depends on society because it's like I know sometimes like people are just very fickle and then they end up in getting married, but they don't take the institution of marriage very seriously. They just kind of think like, okay, we're going to get married and we just jump right out afterwards. And those kind of people, like I would say, just like watch out for. You want to be with a person, in my opinion, who just sees it as a very like, through sickness, through unhealth, through richer, through poor, as cliche as that sound, I really do believe in those vows, and I think it's, I think it's really something, or maybe it's just because I'm that kind of person who reads webtoons, and I'm like, oh, Suho, but yeah, I really do believe in the institution of marriage, but I think that sometimes people rush into things or they don't take it seriously. And of course, you can always just get a prenup. I think that if people are worried, yeah, just get a prenup and then just have everything explicitly stated. And then go with it that way. However, I do know that there is. Yeah, like celebrities have prenups and they get married, and if it doesn't work out, the prenup is enforced. Oh, I found your comment. When you were saying something about red meat and yeah. Oh, hold on. You were saying things like eating red meat made you have gave you issues with your joints. So you recommended white meat. Was that the comment that you were saying? Because I remember I replied to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I did read it. I did read it, and yeah, you know what's sad? Like I had my coffee today, and I noticed my psoriasis is getting more itchy, and I'm like, damn it. So yeah, I gotta be watching out for my coffee. And coffee is very dehydrating, so I actually shouldn't be drinking. But my psoriasis is looking pretty pissed off. And I didn't have any gluten today, so I know that it has to be because of that. Frick. Hold on. Yeah, I was supposed to do a meetup with someone today, and they didn't show up yet. Oh, damn it. Mm. You too. So, yeah, I can't talk about too much about marriage because I don't know too many people who have gotten married recently, and I don't. But I do know there is definitely an apprehension of people getting married lately, and I think part of it stems from you hear about people getting married, and then you hear about like, oh yeah, um, the woman is just going to take everything and she's going to destroy me, or you hear about people who are in like these marriages and it just doesn't work out. And my thinking is like, part of me kind of thinks like, okay, well, how did you pick these women? Because it's not like these women suddenly have a change in character overnight. Did you meet this? Were you a rich guy and did you find this woman at, I don't know, did she, did she seem like she had a very high maintenance lifestyle? Is that it? Or, yeah. Did she like, women kind of tend to give hints. Usually you can kind of tell how a woman is, but, um, Yeah, I think that the sad thing is that yeah, people are I've known a number of people who are just very apprehensive of ever getting married, and they don't want to get married because the guys are like, "Oh, I remember I heard about this one celebrity and then they were together for 20 years and then they got divorced and then he has to give the wife half or something like that." And yeah, now it's like it's just like a trust issue kind of thing, but um, like I said, it goes both ways. Like if people are in a relationship and it doesn't work out, like do not just try to automatically blame the woman over here. And I know some people, some guys are like, oh yeah, I don't want to get shafted by a woman, so yeah, I don't want to end up getting married because she's gonna take everything I have and she's gonna destroy me. And I get it, but not all women are the same. And if you have, and I think that, yeah, some people just are just too apprehensive about that kind of thing. Now, yeah, and then you have to worry about custody battles and having, if you have a kid or something like that. My stance on having kids is just like, I would not have a kid with anybody unless, unless I got married. And my stance for that is this reason. I don't want to end up as baby mama number 16 or something like that. I don't want to end up as like, oh yeah, well, we're not married, so I'm just going to have like 6 baby mamas and you're going to be okay with it. So, yeah, that's not my thing. At all. I just kind of think like it also, if you have a kid with someone and you choose not to get married, and this is because, you have to understand, like I grew up around people who got married and had kids and they just did it like the traditional way. I kind of think like the way society is, it like sometimes it's like you see women having these kids and they're left holding the bag. Like the dad can prance around and be like, man, who else am I gonna knock up today? Oh yeah, let me this woman and let me have a bunch of kids because yeah, I just gotta bang them up here and there and they can have my kid and I can just walk away and have another kid. And I don't want to be one of those women. I really don't. Some people can do polygamy and have kids with, they can have like a shared household with multiple kids. It's not really for me. It's really not for me. I don't want to be thinking like, man, I was like the first one, or I definitely ain't gonna be, I'm definitely not like like this guy had a baby mama and then he knocked her up and he left her and he's like, hey, I want to be baby, I want you to be my second baby mama. Like, no, 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 no. That's not going to work. It's not good. Because I would think that if someone is just like casually impregnating women like that, then they have no problem going after another one. And I just don't want to be like one of those people who's like, oh, how many kids does this guy have? Oh, he has like 10 different kids by 6 different women. And why was that allowed? Because they could all have kids. There was no commitment. So, and then the other thing too is that like the more kids are very expensive, right? So if you have a kid and let's say if a guy has like 10 different kids, you think he can pay child support for all those kids? Hell no. So if you are raising a kid by yourself and you might end up being a baby mama, like you better be prepared to shoulder the cost for the kid yourself, 100%. Just walking into it because you acknowledge that you will be a baby mama. So I do not like that idea. I don't want to have I never want to place myself in that kind of situation. So I've always had the stance like, yeah, I'm not having any kids with anybody unless I was married. Because that way it's just like, okay, there's this understanding that you cannot just like walk around and prance around and have like 50 kids with like 50 different women kind of thing. So yeah, and then it's like I feel like sometimes if you like had a kid, right, and you had to tell the kid like, oh well, like you don't want to have that conversation and then like, oh, so how come you and dad didn't get married? It ultimately comes down to, well, your dad did not trust me. Your dad thought I was going to, your dad thought I wasn't a trustworthy woman. but he thought I was trustworthy enough to have you, but he didn't want to commit to staying with me. So that's why he didn't want to get married to me. You see, that's the underlying thing about hold on. This is the underlying thing that people don't really like to talk about when they talk about having these non-committal relationships. And I know people are gonna bash me about it and be like, Erica, you're just, you're not understanding it. Men don't want to be tied down. I'm like, yeah, they don't want to get tied down. It's not because of like the fear of women. It's like they don't want that commitment. They don't want to have that weight. Like you need to take accountability for all your kids and be there and be able to divvy your time with all these women who might need you in their life. Unless all these women are prepared to be independent, baby mamas. It's like you got to know what you're getting yourself into. And I personally don't want to raise a kid by myself. Like I've always had this vision. Like if I ever became a parent, if I ever became a mom, like I would have a partner next to me. And I don't want to think about like, okay, well when the going gets tough, my partner can just up and leave me. You see? So yeah, that would be my biggest fear. And I can be very honest with you guys. Like, yeah, I mean, I've known people who were in relationships and they had a kid and they thought, well, maybe if we had a kid together, maybe we're gonna end up married. Didn't happen. The kid got in the picture. Then the guy's like, oh, damn it. Oh, now we gotta change diapers. Shit, I wasn't expecting this shit. Fuck. And then the guy just loses interest, and then the woman is left to raise the kid by herself because the guy doesn't want to deal with it. It's like that's too much fucking responsibility for him. He just wants to bang her, and then after he's done banging her, be like, yeah, that's your problem. I'm out of here. Outs. I'm getting out of here. And I know people would find that to be very offensive, but let's face it, there are a lot of women who are single moms. And they're single moms because the dads just could not. The dads did not want to assume responsibility. And I know that people will give me shit about victim blaming over here. I always get this shit. But hey, if you're having a kid with someone, and let's say they already have, let's say three kids with three different women. If you are on freaking kid number 4, right? If you're dating this person's like, hey babe, I want you to be my next baby mama. You gotta know what the hell you're getting yourself into. Ask yourself, is this person spending time with their 3 baby mamas? Did they change the diapers of their 3 other kids? Were they around all the time with their 3 other kids? Answer, no, because you can't be at 3 places at one time. And I am such a selfish individual that I want my kid to have a dad who is there. I've always thought about like a hands-on dad, a dad who it's like I don't have to worry about him just leaving my ass because, yeah, he's like, man, look, there's a hot piece of ass over there. Dang, yeah, maybe she could be my 3rd baby mama over here because Erica's my 2nd. But I don't want to put myself in that kind of situation. So yeah, I think that the institution of marriage has definitely gotten watered down. People don't take vows as seriously as they used to, and that really saddens me because I think marriage should be taken very seriously. And when it's not taken very seriously, this is the kind of shit that happens. People just get divorced very very easily, and yeah, it's just like whatever. It's like changing your underwear kind of thing. Okay, yeah, just get divorced now. But there are people out there with old-fashioned values who do believe in the sanctity of marriage out there. Those people just probably are not. Those people those people are different values, and they're raised with different values. So Hannah, you know what? This is where I would disagree with you because hold on. I would disagree with you on this because if you look at certain women, like for instance, my grandma did not work. She was busy raising kids, and she raised some amazing kids because she was home all the time. She could watch over them. She could, make sure that she was always there. My mom was the same way. So my mom, when I woke up, my mom was there for me. when I went to school, she was at home cooking for me, and then I came home from school, she would have a meal out for me. My mom was incredibly loving, and my mom was a housewife, so I always remembered that about those kind of figures in my life. And I think, like, I think being a mom is really one of the greatest things that can happen to a person. I think being a parent is a very, very serious responsibility. And if I ever became a mom, like, I would want to spend all this time and effort trying to make sure that I'm there for my kid, make sure that the kid grows up right, make sure that, if the kid if the kid wants to talk, like, I can just focus on my attention on them. And this is the kind of stuff, like, I was raised around. I was an only child, and yeah, looking back, it's like my mom had so much. She could spend so much time and energy on me, but she also spent time on herself, and she was really a bright ray of sunshine. She was so loving, so caring, so sweet, and she just made it all work. And so it's not like, I don't think a woman who has no career ambition is like, I don't see those women as like useless. Because I know some people would say that, they're all about the whole women who work thing. But there are women who are just very into the idea of being a homemaker, who's there, who's trying to be very nurturing. And if they have a child with them, they're gonna just put their all into just making sure that the child feels like, they're like, let's put it this way. Like, yeah, when you think about, like, raising a child, it is an extremely serious responsibility. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, and uh, I think the child can be really a reflection of how they were brought up. So if you have a really great, well-rounded child, that is really a great thing to, like, set out in the world and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna make sure that this child is around a good influence, has a great support system, kind of thing. Red October, the like button. Yeah, I think that there is going to be a trend to have kids when people are older. The only downside about that is, if you guys remember that video Idiocracy, that movie Idiocracy, I think people will push having kids older and older and older, and then maybe it'll come to a point where they just say, screw it, I'm too old to have a kid. Um, I think, like, I know people who have kids in their 40s, and for me, I kind of think, like, okay, if you have a kid when you're 40, right, it's like, that's not a bad age, but keep in mind, when the kid is 40, when the kid is 20, you will be 60 years old. When the kid is 10 years old, you're going to be 50 years old. And that's something that I'm kind of like, time is like, I don't want to say time is ticking, but that's something to be very, very cognizant about. So, yeah, it's like, you can push off having a kid at a later age, but you just I feel like you would have less time with the kid. You see. So I know people who have kids when they're, like, young, when they have kids when they're like 22 or something. And then by the time the kid is 18, right, they are 40 years old. It's like, wow, wow, 40 freaking years old when the kid is 18. Like, whoo. So, but it kind of, like, it puts a dent in things, because if you have a kid that young, right, you feel like you miss out possibly on your 20s. And yeah, so it's just, hold on. Yeah, so like for people, if they have a parent if they have a partner who is willing to handle that responsibility, like if you're not home and then the father is willing to look after, then that's a good thing. But you know that there are some people out there that they want to be a hands-off parent, right? So, or they don't want to like deal with the kid. Sometimes like when people are tired, they just like their kid becomes like the back burner thing. And I've spoken to enough people. It's like they tell me that they say that when they were growing up, they felt like they weren't important because it's like the parents always had just work on their mind and they became kind of like an afterthought. And yeah, it's like something that it's like I kind of think to myself like, oh, I never had to deal with that kind of stuff. And I also don't want to, and this is my other thing, like I don't want to have a job where, and I say this because I when I was working, if a woman prioritizes her kid, like taking care of her kid, it can be used against her. So, for instance, right, the kid is sick. The kid is sick from school. The kid needs to be picked up. The dad is at work. Then, yeah, the the mom would have to take off from work, right? Sorry, I have to pick up my kid. My kid has a health issue, and then that turns into a workplace strike. And I'm just kind of thinking like, oh, like I understand why those kind of workplace strikes happen, but I remember there was a woman who was just so dedicated to her kid, and her kid, I don't know, it's like I don't really know the situation, but she always had to like take care of the kid, and then yeah, she got let go from the job because of that, and it was just like, oh, that sucks. That sucks. So, yeah, it's like sometimes like kids, it's like if you have several kids, right? The kids can be very taxing, and the kids can be pretty stressful. And I think that having one parent at home can really kind of alleviate some stress. Like sometimes I think if you have two parents working all the time, or if they're in two high stress jobs, then the kid can suffer. Yeah, but some people, like the dads don't want to get involved. Like some people, it's like the dads rather let the moms raise the kid. Like the dads are gonna be like, yeah, I don't want to change any diapers. Oh, the kid is crying. You take care of the kid. That kind of stuff. And I think it's like you can't gauge that kind of stuff. You don't know if someone is gonna be like, oh yeah, well if the kid pisses, yeah, I'll clean the diaper. Some people could be like, nah, that's not my job. That's your job. I hope when I become a mom, that doesn't become like 100% my job. Because, like, God forbid, if something happens to me, I wouldn't want to feel like I'm the only one taking care of the kid. Or I'm the only one capable of taking care of the kid. Cause yeah. So, yeah, it's important to screen partners. Why would you have kids with a man who doesn't want to parent? You never know what kind of thing you will have, right? You like some people like, and some people agree with me, right? It's like some people are very supportive about having a kid, and then um, when the kid actually arrives, you're like, holy crap, the kid always cries. Oh my gosh, the kid wakes up every 2 to 4 hours. What the hell, And then if you have two sleep deprived parents, right? And then one's like, frick, I don't want to deal with the kid because I got work in like 5 hours. Yeah, it's just like you'll have two parents who just, yeah, it's like I hear about those kind of things. I'm like, ugh. So yeah, some people they just want to have the kid to pass on, just to have a kid, but they don't want to do the work. So typically would fall on. You would think it would usually fall on the mom, right? But sometimes dads step up to the plate too. Like if the mom has um, some sort of like mental health issue, like what's it called it? Postpartum depression. Yeah, I think that's called it. But if you can make it work out, then that's great. It's just that I think it's kind of rare to make it work out. Or the other alternative, right, is if you're too busy, then you go and put the kid in daycare. And then if you put the kid in daycare in certain places, like the freaking daycare costs, if you don't have grandparents to take care of the kid, it ends up being about as expensive as going to it ends up being basically like a freaking full time job pay. Like daycare is very expensive. Man, I gotta take a picture of my eczema. My eczema is like not my eczema. My psoriasis is pissed off today. I really blame it's the freaking coffee because that's the only thing I changed in my diet today. Wow. Yeah, that's the thing that I think is wonderful about the whole remote learning or remote telecommuting to work. Like, people were able to spend more time with their kids. And I think that sometimes, people go off to their jobs and they spend 8 to 12 hours working, and then they don't see their kids for a long period of time. I'm sure like working at home is, you got to be removed from the kids, but still you spend a little bit more time with them, and I think that's a really great thing. Oh wow, you have a business. Wow. Your kid was so lucky that you're an RN. So many parents are like, they don't know what to do when the kid gets sick. They're like, oh no, I'm a first time parent. How do I deal with this? That's my thinking about it, though. Oh, let's see here. One moment. Ah, psoriasis and arthritis have the same triggers. Yeah, I have a really freaking inflamed psoriasis patch, and the only thing that changed in my diet was the freaking coffee today. So, yeah, I'm gonna take a picture later today, and then you guys can see it. Oh shit. Hold on. Yeah, I was supposed to. I was like waiting for someone to swing by, and it looks like they're not swinging by today. But yeah, so now I know freaking coffee is something that I need to stay away from. As much as I love coffee, my freaking arm is really pissed off. I'll take a picture of it after I go in the shower. But it's all like inflamed and crusty looking, and oh, really mad looking patch. Very, very mad. Oh wow, a Nico RN. Wow. That's amazing. I'm sure you provide a lot of comfort and a lot of brightness to people who are, worried about their little newborn. I always think like sometimes, when people have a newborn, if their kid has to go over to the neonatal ICU, they worry about it. So it's so important to have a really good RN because, yeah, it's like their little bundle of joy. And they just, they want to make sure that everything's okay. Especially when you see like little kids, they're so freaking tiny that, yeah, they're so tiny and they're so delicate. It's like you really just think like, ah. I remember like whenever I remember like how would I say it? I remember like I used to work at a hospital. I used to work at admin, and I remember when I passed over like the neonatal place. It's like you would see everything, and it would be so bright, and like you would see kids hooked up with these like the little warmers, the little warmer things, and then sometimes they look like they got this little eye mask on, and yeah, so tiny, so tiny. Crazy to believe like such a tiny little baby can turn into such a big adult in the future. Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy. Like I remember when I saw oh, hello there, Oreo. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, but oh, hold on. Shoot. What the hell? Thought I heard someone. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where that person is. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Oreo's in his crate right now. And it's not bright anymore. Oh, we keep the lights low. Let's see. Yeah, anyway, you guys, I'm going to go and hop into the shower soon or something. I was just waiting for that person, waiting for them to arrive, and freaking doesn't, it looks like they flaked on me. Grr, grr. So I've been waiting for them, and I don't know where the hell they are. So it is what it is. Sucks. It sucks. But I will talk to you guys later, and you guys stay warm. What is this? Oh, yeah, you guys stay warm. Well, actually, you guys, it's pretty cold right now. But yeah, I'll take a picture of my my little arm for you guys in case anybody wants to see. My arm looks freaking terrible. It looks way different. I should have taken like a daily thing. Like if you see this, you'd be like, "Oh, what happened, Erica?" I'm like, all I did was drink coffee with milk. But I feel like it's important to document this kind of thing so that way anybody who has like psoriasis or some sort of like flare up or eczema or something, maybe they can learn from it. And I learned that coffee makes me have a really bad flare up. It's either the coffee, it's probably the coffee. I really bank it's on the coffee. I don't think it's a sweetener, but it's either the coffee, the sweetener, or the milk. And I'm inclined to think it might be a combination of things. But whatever it is, I gotta reduce it. So maybe in the future I'll just try to have the sweetener by itself and see if I have a flare up, and then maybe the coffee by itself. But I know all three of them together is not a good thing for me. So mad. Such a mad little patch. Yeah, I have it on my forearm. So it's on my right forearm. It's really gross looking. Surprising how much this thing can change very quickly. So I had this thing almost completely disappear, and then I started eating gluten, and then today I drank coffee, and today it's just like really gross looking today. And I've been eating those little cupcakes for a while, so I know it didn't get all pissed off just just on one day. It just seems like today is the day it's really mad at me. And it was only about one teaspoon of instant coffee. And then, yeah, maybe like 1.5 teaspoons of instant coffee. Not that much coffee, really, not that much coffee. And then something like 2 teaspoons of artificial sugar, and then probably something like half a cup of milk. And that really, yeah, maybe it's the caffeine, Hannah. Yeah, I think it's the caffeine. And I love coffee. Oh, let's see. Actually, let's check this out because I'm looking at it already. Does caffeine affect psoriasis? Oh, there have been reports that it can risk it, but it can also help it. Definitely ain't calm today. See, some people say it doesn't affect psoriasis at risk at all, but something is definitely flaring it up today. Let's see. I don't think it's the milk, because I drink milk. I mean, like, I have dairy. So, what else could it be? Artificial sweeteners? I really should have had this without the freaking artificial sweetener. Oh, look at this. Artificial sweetener, maybe. Maybe it's a combination of things. Look at this. So this person is a dermatologist, and they said that when they put their patients on a low sugar diet that does include low sugar, then they have clearer, calmer skin. That's the thing. Like, it's not like I'm not eating sugar. It's just artificial sweetener. But I don't know what's... Yeah, I can't imagine artificial sweetener having this much of an impact on my freaking arm. So I'm gonna bet it's the coffee, but we'll see. So because I'm already done, because I have a flare up, I'm gonna like cut out the coffee, cut out the sweetener for about a week, wait for it to clear up. Then I'll have like a bunch of sweetener one day and see if that does anything, and then maybe a couple days later go with the coffee and then see if the coffee flares up again. Because that way I can kind of do this little experiment to see, hey, what's causing a flare-up? Is it the coffee? Is it the coffee and sweetener? Or is it together? Or is it the... I don't think it's a heavy whipping cream. I really don't think it's a whipping cream because I can have cupcake and I'm fine. But probably the caffeine. Probably the caffeine. Yeah, no, I'm using... Okay, you want to know what I'm using? I'm using this. Let me show you guys this. What was it called? Oh gosh, what's it called? Reiki. Where's my sugar? What? Where'd the sugar go? Do they not have the sugar that I'm using? Wait a second. Do they not have it? Oh, it's unavailable. Dang. Yeah, so I guess they don't sell it anymore, or it's sold out? Who knows? But, I was using... I think I have this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. And this is... See, it's a it's a 0-calorie sweetener, and it's just this. It's just these three things. So the whole thing about trying to figure out what the hell is breaking out my psoriasis, it's like everything goes back to coffee. Last time I had this, I remember I was telling you guys like I had a feeling it started when I was drinking a lot of coffee, and then I was using the sweetener, and I was using I didn't use yeah, it can't be the dairy because I wasn't using dairy at that time. So it has to be either the sweetener or the coffee. Yeah, so it's a 0-calorie sugar. See? So it's a 0-calorie. It doesn't have any sweetener in here. See? Look. See sugar? Zero. Zero sugar. 0-calorie sugar. So yeah, I was thinking like, oh, if I get this should be better for me. See, it replaces sugar. Keto friendly, non-glycemic. But yeah, most likely it's the coffee. Ugh. I really did enjoy drinking that coffee today. So maybe I have to stick with decaf coffee. Ugh, I don't want to stick with decaf coffee. I mean, I could drink decaf coffee, but it sucks. It sucks. Like, if I have to get this, like, terrible looking red patch every time I drink coffee. Um, yeah, and I knew it was happening because I remember after I was drinking the coffee, like a short while after, I was like, man, my skin feels really itchy. And probably the caffeine. So, yeah, so if you look up caffeine, stress, cortisol. So, does caffeine extract cortisol? So, yeah. I mean, like, I can't imagine my stress being that. Oh, let's see. Psoriasis, stress. Okay, see, so stress and psoriasis go together. So, I'm not stressed out right now. But it seems the coffee makes my body stressed. And then that makes me have this. Yeah, see, this is not. I don't need to do any deep breathing or anything. It really just happened. I just drank some coffee today, and it's like I'm getting skin issues. So, yeah, I'm gonna assume it's the coffee. Freaking sucks. So I don't. Let's see how much caffeine is this coffee anyway. Can I tell? Caffeine is no say. Doesn't say. Just 1 cup of coffee, a dark roast classico. Yeah, I don't have any idea what the coffee is. Sucks. Well, yeah. So tea does not do that to me. If I drink tea, my skin is perfectly fine. Like I don't have any issue. But actually, you know what? I don't drink any caffeine tea. If I do drink caffeine tea, it's just a green tea, and that's kind of mild on the caffeine. So, yeah. No, I don't think it's stressing over stuff because I didn't have a flare up until today, and this is the only day that I'm drinking coffee. So yeah, the day I'm drinking coffee, like my skin is like under control, and then the day I drink coffee is when I start feeling it itchy. But yeah, I drank like 2 cups of coffee today. Well, like yeah, one strong cup. Well, yeah, one strong cup of coffee. But the caffeine that I normally I drink caffeine-free tea, and then once in a while I'll drink green tea. But I can't imagine it being that bad. Let's see, caffeine. Let's see. Can I tell the difference here? Oh yeah, see, coffee is less. 55 milligrams versus 128 to 185. See? There's my green tea, 36. Black tea is 47. Decaf coffee is 8. So if this is correct, I should be able to drink decaf coffee, but I just can't drink the regular coffee. See? So if I go over 100, oh, see, this is 110. This is what I have. The instant coffee. Actually, you know what? I can look that up. Classical Nescafe. So this is what I made today. What? It only contains 57 to 65. How much do you use in here? One tablespoon, right? Yeah, 1 teaspoon. So I use 2 teaspoons of it. And oh, where's the caffeine? Damn it, I can't find it. But yeah, that's it. Oh, they don't say. Oh, wait, they did say. 65 milligrams per 175. So I had about 2 cups today. So that's 130. So yeah, it looks like I can stick with the low caffeine stuff. But I can't stick too much around heavier than that. See it? Yeah, so anyway, it seems like I'm caffeine sensitive, even though I really shouldn't be this sensitive to caffeine. Sucks. Yeah, I gotta like monitor what I'm drinking. But I already kind of try monitoring it. It's just, I don't know what the amount is. I don't want to give up coffee for the rest of my life or just have this ugly, crappy looking patch. So matcha, oh, look at that. Matcha's around 60 milligrams for a teaspoon. No. Um, Coffee is 95. Oh, no. Boo. Boo. Anyway, I will figure it out. I gotta figure out like what the hell is causing me, what it is exactly. I think it's really the caffeine. So it looks like I'm gonna stay away from caffeine and continue doing what I was doing before. And I know I've been taking my fish oils too, so it's not like it's suddenly happened because I was deficient on my fish oil. So I'm still taking them, and it looks really pissed off though. Um, and I haven't been scratching, so whatever it is what it is, sort of thing. But yeah, anyway, where are we here? One moment. Let's see. What is this? Search YouTube? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna search YouTube afterwards for this. What is this? Actually, you know what? Hell, let's look at it now. What is this? This is what I'm looking for?
Mamma mia, vengo!
Herr,
Angela.
ich glaube, Ihr Auto steht auf meinem Parkplatz.
Prego, s'accomodi.
Aber ich habe gar keine Zeit.
Un attimo solo. Si prende una bustina di Nescafè, poi si aggiunge un po' di acqua. Guardi come cresce il cappuccino. Pronto! Il cappuccino.
Danke.
Gradisca.
Und wann fahren Sie Ihr Auto weg?
Ich habe gar keine Auto, Signorina.
Für die italienischen Momente im Leben. Nescafé Cappuccino.
I've never seen a commercial like that in such a long time. Have you? I have not seen that in a very, 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 very long time. We don't have commercials like that anymore. We have yeah, I haven't seen a coffee commercial in a really long time. I see print ads for it, but not coffee. No, seriously, have you guys seen it? I haven't seen a coffee commercial in forever. Not even Starbucks. But maybe it's because I don't see YouTube ads or something. Who knows? But yeah, anyway, I gotta get going, so I will talk to you guys later. This stream has been pretty freaking long, and again, I got a little off topic again. But yeah, I did learn from something from you guys, and I'm gonna keep that in mind. I gotta really do a food diary maybe, and then figure out like what's causing this thing. But I'm pretty dedicated to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I gotta take a picture later today. You're gonna look at me like, ew, Erica, ew. But yeah, I have a good feeling it's gonna help someone if I can't imagine though, like I never thought I would be this pissed off just from drinking some coffee. Like if you look at it, you think I'd be scratching my arm off, but I haven't really been touching it. It seems like it's been like oozing or something by itself. I don't know, it's gross. It is gross. I don't scratch it. I don't pick at it, but it just looks really inflamed. I'm mad. So, yeah. No problem. You know what, Anonymous? I hope you find a wonderful person. And remember, find someone who treats you how you want to be treated. Like, don't try to find a person that you think you can fix or something like that. Find a person that that uplifts you, that supports you. And I'm not scratching it. I'm not scratching it. It's just like I'm looking at it. I'm like, frick, this thing looks mad as hell. Yeah, because I know if you scratch it, it's gonna make it worse, right? But I've been applying lotion to it, and it's like the lotion ain't doing shit. It's really like a diet thing. So I'm like patting it with lotion. I'm taking my fish oil. I took my fish oil yesterday. It's mad. It's really bad. It's a prescription, but works. Yeah, I think I just want to like avoid it. Like if I know coffee causes this kind of issues, I just need to stay away from coffee. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna be like, oh, the coffee. I love coffee. And you guys know, like I have so much coffee, right? So it just like I don't want to think like, man, every time I drink a cup of coffee, I'm gonna have a flare up. And I have so many K-cups, and I have like a bunch of instant coffee over here. I have like 3 bottles of instant coffee and a whole bunch of ground coffee, and I used to love drinking coffee. But this thing is kind of relatively new. Like throughout my life, I never had a psoriasis patch until like late last year. And I thought it was dry skin, but this isn't dry skin because I've already confirmed that if I drink coffee, then it seems to flare up. Coffee with the sweetener in the milk. After she calmed down. Anyway, she's coming to River Avenue because she thinks his car's in her product info. And after she calmed down with the help of instant coffee, tells her how I don't have a car, senorita. I've had it since like around I think November 2020. I thought it was dry skin, so it went away because you guys saw my stream, right? You guys saw my psoriasis thing. I cut out my gluten, cut down the sugar, cut down the coffee. I didn't drink coffee for like a number of weeks, and then except that one time I drank coffee because I was craving it. But yeah, my skin calmed down, and then today I drank it because I was like curious about it, and it's like the worst it's been in forever. It's really bad today. So I can only assume, okay, Erica, well, what did you change today? It was that coffee. So I'm sure that if I cut down the coffee and I up the fish oils, it's going to go back down again. So I guess I'm going to do another before and after. Oh, this is how my skin looks like today on the 17th. And let's see how my skin looks on the 24th with cutting down the coffee. Oh, look, my patch is going down again. I don't see, the thing is like I don't know what else would be causing it because it looks just like psoriasis. So if you look at hold on, let me show you guys. Yeah, so my skin right now looks like this. See that? That's how my skin looks like right now. It's all pissed off looking. See? That's exactly where I have mines too. See this? It's freaking itchy, you guys. It's like, and then it can get all blistery like that. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, looks like someone's home. So yeah, I'll take a picture after I take a shower, and then you guys can see it. It's disappointing, but yeah, I'll figure it out, and I can at least do a true before and after now. This is how it looks like after I drink coffee. This is how it looked like when I take out the coffee, right? So yeah, you guys take care. I will talk to you later. See ya. Yeah, it's it's the same freaking place. It's the same place on my arm. And when it does happen, it's just so mad. No, it calms down after a while. It calms down. Yeah.